Hello. So today I'm doing a bee tier list for Bee Swarm Simulator. I believe there's like 46 bees in the game, so I got some work to do. I've seen other lists around and to be honest, they're pretty good, so I don't think mine will surprise you too much, so let's just get straight into it. Baby bee is an easy S tier. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I'll try to explain why I put each bee in each tier. So baby love is really good because it's, free ×2 pollen and loot luck, and loot luck will really help you for your bug runs and things like that, so don't sleep on baby love. B for basic, I'll give it a B tier. The bee itself would go in D because it's extremely mediocre, but every hive wants the gifted version of this bee, so it gets a B tier. And oh my goodness, the bomber bee. So I'm not sure if white hives are running this for the honey from tokens, but other than that, I think this bee is pretty mid. It has an okay hive bonus, I think, but yeah, not too much to it. Brave bee will also go in C tier. It's extremely mid. Even the +1 attack bonus doesn't do wonders for you, but you should still run it if you need attack. Now I'm not sure if blue hives rely on the bubble pollen anymore, so I think bubble bee also goes in C. It's not the worst, but you don't get anything special with it. It's basically a cheaper version of the tadpole if you can't afford tadpoles. Bucko bee, where should Bucko bee go? I think Bucko bee will go in B. It has decent general stats and its blue field capacity really helps blue hives. And I guess extra blue boost. Yippee. Moving on to the bumblebee. Bumblebee C. Blue hives want it for the capacity, but unlike Bucko, the stats are pretty trash. And I hate how it looks like it's trying to clown on me, like, ugh. Okay, buoyant bee is an easy S tier. It was absolutely broken in 2021 when it first came out, and it's like super solid. I even run it as a red hive for balloon blessing and surprise balloons, and I'm pretty sure, white hives want that balloon blessing as well, so easy S tier. A carpenter bee will be our first A tier bee. Although it's really slow, the honey and pollen marks really make up for it. It's like, red and white hives, even mixed hives will want that bee because, the marks are really solid, so A tier for that. I'm going to move on to the super duo next actually, and honestly they'll both get B tier. I'd actually put this in A if like Crimball existed, but like, Ani didn't promise this to us, so sad. I actually do run Crimson as a red hive for the instant red conversion, and it holds on to my toy horn. I'm not sure if blue hives run Cobalt anymore though. The 2 event bees for 500 tickets is a nice deal for early gamers though. Alright, so Commander Bee next. This one's a bit tough. It holds on to my whistle, and I guess the 5% crit chance is pretty good, but I'm not sure how much of a difference that would make. The stats seem okay, but nothing too special other than that. C tier. Okay, don't even get me started with the cool bee. No explanation for that. Diamond bee is alright. It got convert rate, which is essential for blue. It has decent stats. It gets a B tier. Demo bee. Other than the honey from tokens bonus for white hives, I'm not sure if it provides anything extra. It's just like a better version of the bomber bee, so I'll put it in C tier. Demon bee goes in D tier. Not even red hives use this anymore. If you're early gaming and you get the bee though, you could keep it because the red bombs do kind of help, but like later on you're gonna want to replace it. It's probably the worst legendary bee that you could get. Alright, what is next? Exhausted bee. Does anyone even use exhausted bee anymore? I guess it's a hard worker, so get some points for that, but unfortunately you get D tier, no participation award. Okay, festive. I do think it's slightly overrated, and I'm saying this as a red hive. The good festive gift lineups are really hard to come by, and I'm pretty sure white hives are starting to drop this bee as well. If you have festive wreath though, it could still be some use to you, so it'll get an A tier, but only because the festive gifts carry me really hard. Fire bee is another D tier. I might honestly like consider this like the worst epic. It's so bad. Flame pollen's pretty useless. Its other stats are pretty useless. Yeah, you don't want this bee. Just, trash. Okay, let's move on to the Frosty bee. Okay, Frosty bee is bad, but it's at least better than the freaking Fire bee. So it'll go in C tier. I'm not actually sure if blue hives run this. I think they do, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Fuzzy bee is an easy S tier. It's one of the best mythics. You might not find them in people's hives, but that's because they probably have alts dedicated to just having fuzzy bees in their hives. And fuzzy bee really does make the fields that are actually bad playable, so that's a plus. Gummy bee is a bit tough for me. The abilities are free gumdrops, and the honey pollen is pretty good as well. Its stats aren't too bad either. I'd give it an S, but it doesn't really have anything that's outstanding, so I'll give it an A. Hasty bee is actually pretty good. I hate being sluggish and slow, so I run Hasty Bee every once in a while to compensate for my speed. It gets a B tier from me. So I know you'll want me to give Honeybee the greatest bee of all time here, but we have to be realistic. It gets a B tier. White hives benefit greatly from the bee thanks to the honey from tokens, but nothing much after that. A line bee gets a B tier. I'm really sorry to the attack hives, but what else can you expect from it? Again, it's another one of those like really like mid bees, only good for the HFT for white. I guess the colorless attack is okay, but nothing much. Liquor bee. The crit power bonus is okay. Stats are pretty mid though. C tier. Music bee seems like a jack of all trades. It gives focus, melody, token link. It has alright stats all around. Nothing too crazy about the hive bonus. I'll put it in B. Ninja bee. I don't know if anyone uses this bee anymore. If you know if the bee and move speed thing is actually good or not, let me know, but I'm putting this in D tier until I figure out otherwise, because I don't think anyone actually uses this. Photon bee is a pretty solid bee. The beamstorm is really powerful for early game, and the instant conversion ability is also great. I think all levels of players could benefit from it. It's also a haste producer, so that's a plus. It gets an A tier. Precise bee, easy S tier. I don't think there's an argument about this. The super criticals are really essential now for any player, and honestly this bee is like almost in the top 2 in my opinion, but just not quite on that level just yet. Puppy bee, it has good stats, but it's only good for leveling your hive. I don't see anyone actually running this because they think it's good at making honey, because it's not. It's definitely the worst event bee, so this goes in C. Rad goes in D, no explanations. I feel bad for you if this is your first bee. I think both Rad and Cool bee are probably like the worst bees you can get starting off. Rage bee isn't too bad. It's like a better version of the Brave bee with the add bonus of Rage and Token Link, so it gets a B tier. Rascal is pretty trash, but it does help me get Rare bee leaderboard in case I'm that desperate. It's just a cooler version of the Rad bee. In fact, I think this should be called the Rad bee instead. Comment down below if you agree. Riley goes in B. I like Riley since it gives me that slight extra cap, and I use it as a red boost maintainer, and it has above average stats. Shocked bee. I actually run some of these on my Fuzzy Alt for haste and token link, and it's not bad. It gets a B tier. Shy bee is like the definition of the participation award. I'm just kidding. Billy Pollen is a bonus that's pretty decent, and it also acts like a red boost maintainer for red hive, so it also gets a B. Damn, that's a lot of B tier bees, but I guess that's expected. Alright, moving on to the spicy bee. Spicy bee is a great bee. It gives you flame oil, which allows you to convert your bag, and even white hives use this bee for things like puff shrooms, I think, or maybe even gummy shower white hives, if there's still players that do that. It's for sure an S tier though. Stubborn bee is helpful for lagging, but I guess it's still pretty bad, so it gets a D tier. Tabby bee. I'm a huge fan of cats, but I agreed to try not to be unbiased. Its general stats are solid though, and Scratch does help you as an early game player. The only issue that I see is that endgame players only run this bee for the hive bonus, so it'll get an A tier. Okay, Tadpole bee is next. I know it's just as important as Buoyant for blue, and the frogs are so cool, and it's one of my favorite mini side helpers. And I've had some pretty fun experiences with the frogs, so it's a solid S tier. The Vector bee. It's an obvious S tier, and both red and white hives run this bee for very good reason. It was even ran by blue hives in 2020 and early 2021. It's a bee that's pretty crucial to boosting thanks to its ability to keep marks and do trigonometry for us, so very nice. And wow, all mythic bees are in the S tier, but I think that's pretty much expected since every mythic is crucial to some meta. A vicious bee is a bit tough. It's a great bee to have to do certain attack-based challenges, so I'll rank it in the A tier. And it also just hit me that I'm ranking this based on attack, which goes against what I said earlier regarding the lion bee, and that might be a bit unfair. But I do think the general net effect from the vicious bee is just so much greater since those spikes help so much more. And I know even some blue hives that need that extra damage can run this bee and be perfectly fine. Windy bee. The windy bee is a staple for mid-game and one of the best bees for mid-game. Tornadoes can collect a lot for you, and it's like the only bee to produce white boost, which is like so good for white hives. So it gets an easy S tier. So I decided to save the best 2 bees for last. Obviously these would be the bear and digital bee, because you know, these were the final contenders. I don't think there's a debate for that. So this is going to be a really tough decision that I have to make. Majority of you guys on the community poll voted and commented your opinions, so I greatly appreciate that. It seems that digital bee got the highest amount of votes, so I'm personally leaning towards that as well. But Illumina does make a pretty good point about bear bee being the reason that digital can even create double and triple morphs, which is where you make most of your honey. I mean, that's how I was able to hit 12 trillion sec on my honey day actually. But if we're assuming this is a max digital in terms of drives, I still think it clears every other bee and there's no comparison. It's still extremely broken, but for good reason, because players do put a lot of effort into drive grinding. The Bear Bee does come in a close second though, since Bearmorph is like the best ability in the game in general. So Bear Bee is our first loser, unfortunately. Well, I guess that wraps up my B tier list. It might be kind of mid, so some of you guys might disagree with it, but I can actually see the bias from my list, even though I said it wouldn't have bias, but you know, just like on it, I lied, so have a good one.